Hey everyone, and welcome back to our channel, Amor Ameruano. I have a little bit of a story time about the thing that almost made me ghost the boyfriend that I have now. I am a journaler, and I have the journal with the story in it just so that I could make sure that I'm telling it truthfully and it jogs my memory at all the necessary points. So I am going to be reading snippets of the journal. I'm just gonna go ahead and give y'all a little bit of necessary backstory. Before I started dating Alex, I had a relationship with a Venezuelan man. It was very brief and unpleasant. He cheated. It was with somebody that he kept passing off as a friend. This person was in Venezuela, had her own life, had a child, had a husband, and was carrying on this emotional affair with the person that I was dating. That particular relationship jaded me a lot. One of the things I knew just going into singleness for a while was that I never wanted to put myself in a situation to be cheated on again. This probably gives y'all a little bit more context on why I've said, I was scared going into a relationship with Alex. I was hesitant in a lot of ways. He was very understanding, and we had lots of conversations about how we felt about cheating. So I felt like things were going well. You know how sometimes people say that things are just going too well, everything seems too perfect, there's no ripples in the water? Well, fast forward 2 weeks and this happens. He had a friend coming from Peru to visit him. This particular friend had business or an event that they had to attend in New York because they'd never been to Atlanta and they knew him. They were like, hey, why don't I just kind of hopscotch my way from Atlanta to New York, take care of my business, and then from New York, fly back to Peru. When Alex spoke to me about this particular friend, I noticed that he would use gender neutral terms. Spanish is a gendered language. So if somebody says my female friend, it's amiga, right? Or if it's my male friend, it's amigo. I decided that I was going to ask him if this person was a woman. He said, yes. Is this woman somebody that you have had a relationship with? He said yes. I just start getting this deeper and deeper sinking feeling in the pit of my stomach. And my mind just starts going, it's happening again. This is a person that's supposedly a friend and they're not a friend. Alex did everything in that moment to try and reassure me. And I was between a rock and a hard place because I wasn't Alex's girlfriend yet, but I had begun dating him. And I felt like we were exclusively dating. So a part of me wanted to be, I guess, possessive in that sense, or a part of me wanted to say, well, this isn't fair to me. Yet at the same time, you don't really owe me anything in terms of relationship commitment. I made sure he knew that I was not comfortable, and I let him know I did not think that it was appropriate that she was going to be staying in his home when she visited. Nothing's going to happen. I will sleep in another room. I will tell her about you. I will make sure that she knows that I'm really interested in you and pursuing a relationship with you. Please don't worry. I'm asking you to trust me, which to me was absolutely ridiculous and out of the window. I was not comfortable with the idea of trusting someone that I had just started dating with not doing things with somebody that he had a romantic history with. It was very obvious that my demeanor was kind of changing a bit. He asked me, are things going to be different after she leaves? Are you going to act differently toward me? And I said, I honestly don't know. We're just going to have to see how things go. Let's give her a name. So Maria. The idea was that Maria arrives on a Friday, spends Saturday sightseeing, and Sunday gets on a plane and heads on to New York. Alex calls me bright and early Friday morning to let me know, hey, I'm at the airport, I'm picking up Maria. I was trying to be as normal as possible and just going, okay, all right, well, thank you for letting me know. Thank you for keeping me up to date. I didn't talk to him until later on that afternoon. And his text said, I've told her about you and she wants to meet you. Immediately, I just kind of entered into this internal panic and I was like, there's no reason for me to be meeting Maria. We have nothing in common other than the person that she has dated and that I am dating. He suggested that we go out and have lunch. I was flabbergasted. Looking back, I know he was doing it because he was trying to settle my nerves and let me know, look, there's nothing to worry about. But I was so uncomfortable at the suggestion of meeting her and going out with her. I was at work, so I couldn't really have a meltdown. I was like, you know what? Let's talk about it when I get back home tonight. I was in such an internally emotional state that I decided I needed to reach out to the counselor that had been helping me with the rebuilding of my life after the relationship with the Venezuelan man. Let's give our counselor the name Julie. I let her know everything that was happening, just like a panic video call and told her everything. And she goes, well, Krista, it's quite possible Alex did share a lot of positive, heartwarming things about you. And I can understand validly that Maria is probably curious. However, I agree 100%. There is no need for the two of you to meet each other at all. She advised me on how to broach the subject, assured me that she was praying for us, and reminded me that at the bottom of it all, Alex's desire to be honest with me was to be valued and praised. I told Alex how I was feeling. I told him that it just felt triggering for me, that I was not comfortable again with the idea of her being there, let alone meeting Maria in person. Please give her my apologies. Let her know that I am unable to hang out with you guys because I have work or I have plans or whatever. You tell her what you need to tell her, please. I hope that she enjoys the rest of her sightseeing. He validated how I was feeling. He told me that, it was poorly planned on his part. I let him say his piece. I let him apologize. And shortly after that, we ended the conversation. I woke up still feeling uneasy. I couldn't see how to get around how I was feeling and start my day. I worked myself up into a frenzy while I was praying, just of anxiety. So I reached out to Julie and I was like, hey, do you have time for a session today? Because I need to get out of my head. Thankfully, she did. My session with Julie rolls around and I say to her, listen, I know that I've been telling you I've met this guy that seems absolutely amazing, but I think I'm gonna pull the plug on it. I don't think I want to put myself in a situation where what happened to me in the past could repeat itself again. And she goes, Krista, don't do it. I think that this is the real deal. You honestly need to trust that whatever comes out of the situation is because God revealed it to you and he loves you enough to keep you from being in harm's way. You've asked him to take care of the situation. Let him take care of it. You stop worrying about things. You stop building up the story in your mind. I know it makes you uncomfortable. I don't agree with Alex's planning, but I do believe that you need to let God do his thing. You can't compare him to a past experience that you've had, assuming that things are going to play out the way that they did with that one person, and never give him the opportunity to show you who he is. And I was like, yeah, you're right. I'm being a hypocrite in that sense.
The rest of the session was pretty productive. I spoke with Alex that afternoon and then again in the evening. So that's where the journal entry that I'm about to read is picking up from. Also, so sorry for the change in sound. I have no idea what happened, but it's what we've got, so thank you for bearing with it.
I told him about my fears, my emergency sessions with Julie. He took it all so well. Something I wasn't expecting was Alex said he really appreciated me telling him how I felt so that he could avoid ever putting me in that situation again. He apologized again and said that had we known each other beforehand, he never would have agreed to the whole thing. But that's not his fault and I can't hold that against him. This is the day that Maria is scheduled to take a flight from Atlanta to New York, right? So Alex takes her to the airport and she goes on and continues her trip in the United States. A Monday afternoon/evening, we did see each other. We did meet up. We had a date. One of the worries I had was that upon meeting again, our whole dynamic would be thrown. I was really waiting for the ball to drop once our eyes met and that I would know in the pit of my stomach something was over. But it was just the opposite. He wrapped his arms around me and I him, and we stood there for a while just hugging in the parking lot and telling each other how much we had been missing each other. After that hug, things seemed to shift back into place mentally. The idea of a we feels strong and right. As long as God comes first, anything is possible. And we just kind of agreed that we successfully made it past a really tense, really uncomfortable time, and that we were going to continue moving forward, getting to know each other. This is the plot twist. Alex and I are sitting in his car about maybe 2.5 weeks later, just talking after a date that we've gone on, and he lets it slip that something happened while Maria was in town. Basically, she made a move on him, for lack of a better way of putting it. And she was also not happy about the fact that Alex was dating me. She wanted Alex to meet her at the airport with balloons, welcome her with gifts.
I don't know if that is customary for Latinos that are traveling from country to country. I have no idea. I just know I have never met anybody or heard of anybody meeting anyone at the airport with a bouquet of flowers or balloons, unless it's your significant other and you haven't seen them for a significant amount of time. When Maria first got here and they went to breakfast, she kept calling me the black girl. Alex told her that it was inappropriate, that it was disrespectful, and she was like, well, what? She's black. Apparently, Maria smokes. Alex doesn't drink anymore. He used to. And she had invited him to smoke and drink with her on his balcony and stay up past a certain time, and had insisted that he continue drinking throughout the evening. And he had refused, saying that he had to call me or talk to me. All of those things, it could be speculation here and there, right? But the cherry on top and the concrete evidence that this was not just a, hey, how you doing, friend trip, was the night before Maria was scheduled to leave for New York. Alex was in his bedroom. He was getting ready to go and take a shower. Maria knocks on Alex's door. So Alex goes, he opens the door, and Maria says to Alex, I'm leaving tomorrow. And he goes, yeah, I know, I'm taking you to the airport. And her response is, don't you want to say goodbye to me? And he goes, yeah, I'll say goodbye to you tomorrow when I take you to the airport. Alex, you really don't want to say goodbye to me? Make of that what you will. No, I'm going to take you to the airport tomorrow and I'll say goodbye to you then, and close the bedroom door. The next morning, she was really standoffish and didn't communicate much with him, didn't seem like she was very happy with him. And when they got to the airport, he tried to hug her, but she didn't return the hug. After he had left the airport, they began sending each other voice messages, which I did listen to later on. She was essentially really upset that he chose me over her. She was very nasty about the fact that he was staying with the dark one. He decided that he wanted to delete Maria from his social media, but he didn't block her. I think it actually was Thanksgiving weekend. He received a long, really insulting, rude message from Maria, saying all kinds of stuff because she had been deleted from his social media. For him, he seemed to kind of mourn a friendship that he believed was there. And he said, well, you know, if this is the way that a person that I used to be friends with, or that I considered a friend, speaks about the person I'm with, I don't see a reason to continue the friendship. It felt validating knowing that Alex really did value me. He did see something more in our relationship. Trusting in God gave me the answers that I needed instead of going around digging for them. It was a relief in the sense that I felt like this isn't going to play out like it did before. Like, there is actually another alternate ending to the situation that I was in, but this one's positive. I was happy for the situation in that it helped me learn what my insecurities and my wounds still were. The way that things played out in terms of Alex apologizing and validating my feelings, allowing me permission to his phone to see certain things and to hear certain things for closure's sake. I trust Alex a whole lot more now. Back then, I felt a whole lot more worry and anxiety. And now I feel really good. So that was the moment where I almost ghosted Alex, where I almost just cut off this entire relationship because of fear, because of discomfort and insecurity, to be honest. Thank you so much for listening. I just want to wish you a wonderful day and remind you that, again, with God, all things are possible. Take care.